All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. This is going to be my 212 Olympia prediction video. So I've already done classic physique. I've already done 2 videos for men's open bodybuilding predictions. And I know now it's the week of the Olympia, so this is a little bit last minute, but I feel like 212 is getting exciting and it warrants a prediction video, even though I think most years I don't typically do one for 212. So I believe out of the 3 main men's divisions, 212 has the least amount of competitors compared to classic physique and men's open, with 33 total qualified, not including the point standings. I'm going to read the qualified competitor list. We're going to talk about last year's 212 Olympia results. Then we're going to get into my top 6 predictions for 212 this year. So qualified so far, Derek Lunsford, last year's champion. We know he's not doing it. That's one name off the list because he's doing men's open bodybuilding. Sean Clarita, who is your 2020 212 Olympia champion. Kamal El-Gargni, who is your 2019 Olympia champ, the first Olympia after Flex Lewis's reign. Kamal took the title. Muhammad El Azim, Ahmad Ashkenani, who's looking pretty crazy this year. Angel Calderon Frias, looking like a miniature Hadi Chupin right now. Felipe Moraes Ole Crivier, who is also pretty insane looking. Douglas Connor, David Henry, Anwar Al-Balushi, Yunlong Ping, Brian Balzano, Robert Taylor, Lucas Coelho, who's also looking very impressive. Noel Adame, Hossein Kalate, Oswaldo Gonzalez, Ahmed Fauzi, Jafar Ghafarizada Zizi, Ayat Bagri, Dean White, Detrick Bo Lewis, Keon Pearson, Kareth Bajo, Nasser Muhammad, Romain Ramazami, Mazin Al-Rabi, Peter Molnar, Hamad Juma, Eduardo Correa, who made his big comeback this year, Brazilian bodybuilder. He looked fantastic in terms of conditioning. Radislav Angelov, and Sung Yo Jang. So that is quite the mouthful of a competitor list. Now, before we get into my top 6 predictions, let's go ahead and take a quick look at last year's top 10 to give us a little bit of context here. So as you guys know, Derek won last year's Olympia in 212. He will not be there. We just talked about that. In second, you had Sean Clarita, and in third, you had Kamal El-Gargni. So your top 3 last year was basically chronological order. You had Derek, who was your 2021 champ. In second, Sean, your 2020 champ. And in third, Kamal, your 2019 champ. So it was literally in numerical order, the placings last year. Now, in fourth place, you had Angel Calderon. And like I said, I think he's looking very impressive this year. Fifth place, the newcomer Nathan Epler from Indiana. He's also going to be competing here. Ahmad Ashkenani in 6th. Nasser Muhammad in 7th. Kareth Bajo in 8th. I think he's going to be moving up this year. John Jewett, who I don't think is competing in this year's Olympia. I don't think his name was on that list. Antonio Burton was 10th, who we know is doing the men's open Olympia. So there's several names, I think 3 total, that we know for sure are not on that top 10 list again this year because they're not doing it. All right, so let's get into the top 6 here. In 6th place, I have Kareth Bajo. So Kareth last year, we just talked about this, was 8th place. I think he's improved significantly since last year's Olympia. Also, there's a couple names that were in last year's lineup that are not going to be there. His conditioning is crazy. He's working with Justin Miller, the same guy that coached George Peterson. In every update that I've seen of Kareth going into this Olympia, he's one of the most vascular, most detailed guys at any given point in his prep compared to other guys in 212 that have been posting updates. So I think based on that conditioning, he's got a good enough structure and a good enough amount of size that I think he can crack the top 6. But the reason I don't have him higher is because I feel like there's some guys with a little bit better shape and a little bit more size, maybe not as good condition as he has, that I think are going to place ahead of him. But I have him on top 6 because his conditioning is just so impressive. I think it's going to overwhelm a lot of guys, and conditioning is very important in 212. I think more so than men's open because of that weight cutoff of 212. I think it makes that differentiating factor of conditioning that much more important, because when you all have the same weight cutoff, size isn't going to be as much of a differentiating factor. You're not going to have a big Rami in 212 that's going to stand ahead of the pack. It's really conditioning and shape that's going to put you towards the front of the pack. So for that reason, Kareth Bajo in top 6. Now in 5th place, Ahmad Ashkenani. So he is a guy that battled for a very long time with Flex Lewis. In this recent update that I saw of Ahmad, he looked crazy. It was hard to believe that he's a 212 competitor because he had so much size. Now, last year, Ahmad was 6th. So if we had the same top 6 minus Derek, that would put him in 5th. Now we've got Nathan Epler that was in that 5th place spot last year, but I feel like that was a conditioning thing. Nathan has fantastic conditioning, but I think size-wise, there's some guys in this lineup that are going to push Nathan outside the top 6. I think Nathan will probably still be in the top 10. I think he's going to be around 7th. So I think just off the sheer freak factor of the recent Ahmad Ashkanani update from Kuwait, I think he's going to be in 5th. He looks very impressive, size-wise, just crazy. The midsection is really my biggest concern for Ahmad. It really throws off his shape because he is such a shorter guy. And, well, all these guys in 212 are shorter guys. If they have a midsection issue, it really makes them look blocky. So that's what I'm afraid of with Ahmad in terms of him not placing higher. And that's the reason why in 4th place, I've got Keon Pearson. I think Keon is going to have a very delicate balance of all the things that we're looking for in 212. Like I said, conditioning is very important. Keon in the past has not been the most conditioned guy for a 212 competitor. I think he's going to fix that this year. I don't think he'll be the most conditioned guy in this lineup, but I think he'll be the most conditioned version of himself. And combine that with the shape that he's got, which I think he has the best structure of anybody in the 212 Olympia right now, because Derek is out, and prior to Keon, I would have said Derek has the best shape and structure. Keon has the best shape and structure. I think he's the most aesthetic, and for that aesthetic package that you get the most size. I think he's going to have competitive level of size, competitive enough conditioning, and the best shape and structure in the lineup. I think 4th place would be a really solid placing for him. I know a lot of people probably think that I would have Keon higher than that, considering the fact that I'm a huge fan of Keon's physique. I would love to see Keon win. That would be my fan prediction. But I'm talking about what do I think is going to be the most likely outcome at the Olympia. I think the best case scenario for Keon is probably around 4th. I would love to see him win the title. I would love for him to prove me wrong here, see him come out on top, but I think most likely he'll be in 4th. Now, in 3rd place, top 3. I've got Angel Calderon Frias. Very, very impressive 212 bodybuilder. He, similar to Sean Clarita, won a men's open bodybuilding show to qualify for both the men's open Olympia and the 212 Olympia. He was 4th at last year's 212 Olympia, even with Derek Lunsford in that lineup. I think that last year he was more in the mix with Sean and Kamal than the judges gave him credit for, than the comparisons gave him credit for. I think he belongs in this top 3. I think he's as good or better than both Kamal and Sean from a size standpoint. It's the conditioning where I feel like they edged him out, but he is a guy that has both the size and the conditioning. He has very, very competitive conditioning. I showed you guys a recent Most Muscular of him where I said he's like Heidi Chupin. I mean, he is packed with size for a smaller guy, crazy condition, and I think he's going to give Angel or Kamal and Sean a run for their money. So in 2nd place, I have Kamal El Gargani. He is the oldest competitor in this lineup, and he's very consistent. We see typically the same package from Kamal, very consistent conditioning, never much bigger, never much smaller, not much difference. The conditioning just is very consistent from him, and for that reason, I think Sean will beat him. Sean has beat him at the past 2 Olympias. Sean has really shown no sign of slowing down. We saw Sean win an open and a 212 qualification from last year. He was 2nd behind Derek last year. Derek's not there this year, and for that reason, I find it really hard not to predict a victory from Sean Clarita. I think he's going to return to that 212 throne and reclaim his title. I think that's the most likely scenario, the most likely outcome. So those are my 212 predictions. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and make sure you comment your 212 predictions down below. I love to read those, and if you agree or disagree, let me know down below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more Olympia coverage just like this. And as always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at Nick Strength Power. My Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power. My secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my 3rd YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.